as Care has decided he's going to go with the Victor, going to try to match Mage for Mage, something with a little bit of extra team fighting power and trying to match the
swap out these lanes now for FPX to get that early game advantage in the neutrals.
Sure thing. And Care might be in trouble trying to crash this wave, but Doinby's now going to set up a gank alongside Aki, and he's just got nowhere else to go. A clean route from NG, and it really put FPX behind. This time, it did come at the cost of Doinby's ultimate, but Care is still doing a decent job of making sure not to fall too far behind. It does end up in Grubs going over to NIP, but FPX will trade the Dragon for it.
They are getting continual as well. So this Corki is going to be quite the threat to think moving through this game. Has opted into the tier, so get up nice and early. There are rumors as well of this new where you just tier, you go Essence Reaver and sort of C for you. Takes about the same amount of time, and it is a lot more expensive in terms of a build path to go for, but can hit very, very hard as we move later on. Regardless, not going to be the case this time around, as we'll get to see whether or not this tier and the Trinity Force that's likely going to come with it comes as a product of the turret, the platings, or some as so far for old largely even. Only real difference jungle duo where Aki Doinby only able to take down Care, but also farming up quite well. Also, Sejuani spending a significant amount of time just making sure that there is pressure down on the bot side, and this turret is...
It's not Sorrow playing through the bottom side of the map for FPX, but this was the game plan that got a lot of FPX's early gold leads in their series against RNG when it was Sorrow playing in jungle. So I think, just learning from the gains and experiences that they had, Shadow is now implementing that straight away in this first game, trying to enable Jue and get him off the map so that he can start making plays, which is one of the bit if you need a chance to reset or something. Because I want to be able to hear your voice. Oh, baby, we got to fight! And Shadow's gone. The bullet time just ripped that. It's going to be a solo cast until then. As Aki's now starting up the second rotation of Grubs. 4 have already been secure for himself. Shadow trying to lead the charge here. Leave might be the target. He's got a flash and a cleanse, already using the cleanse on one of them, but that means that he cannot escape until he barely flashes after escaping the Sejuani ultimate. Got another all-in from Shanji trying to lay down the pain on Sheer, but it just gets the flash out. And the rest of FPX, somehow, just the pressure of forcing Leave out of that unless they stall and do a good job of kind of jockeying around, waiting for this minion wave to be pushed in. Oh, Bot just sends it on to Leave. He knows he's got no sums, but he's got a solo mission the rest of it. And now it's the second dragon of the game going over to NIP. Just checking. Doesn't look like Root is back yet. Collapse here on the Doinby. Shadow also making the roam down towards the bottom side of the map. Aki at least is going to screen this Sejuani, and Doinby wants to turn it on. He recognizes that Care is a little too low on HP, and that burst damage from the Viego and the Aurora is just something you cannot disrespect. Jue is in trouble next as Aki just sends the Reset City all the way through the FPX Express. Bullet time is enough to take out Sejuani once again, and I fear NIP are just running away with this game.
Okay, maybe my internet works, maybe it doesn't, but NIP are dominating in this game, Mark. It is 6-0, 5-1 on Grubs. The Drakes are even, but that's all that FPX have so far.
My goodness.
There's a possibility. Hold on, I'll hold that thought. PP God.
No, he's on a ward. The CC chain. Shadow had no idea that he was in full vision, and this guy
Red
is
buff.
almost dead. Bullet time once again.
Stage of this matchup.
It's just giving flashbacks to the IG NIP. I don't know. I don't feel fine that I just got dunked by 30% of my HP.
The bot side jungle. Make sure that the dragon, the Atakan, is going to be theirs. Again, just meticulous.
It looks pretty signal for how things should play out. As FPX are trying to contest for this blue buff, and it might be ill-advised as there's the Aurora ult, there's the bullet time, and FPX suddenly realize, oh yeah, that's right. This jungle quadrant does not belong to us anymore, and that comes at the cost of
1 in 100. Again, isn't it? So much more. Well, there's just so few opportunities to enter through bot, but they've lost ball.
They're gonna look for the engage. PP God is the first one in. The bullet time looks so beautiful as the rest of FPX are forced to scatter, but wait a minute. They get the first reset for Aki, and now things are really going to be closed down for Shop. FPX just got no fuel left in the tank. It looked bright for 1 second when they got the first kill onto PP God, but the rest of the dominoes fell, and NIP sweep all 5.
And you'll be happy to sacrifice your Leona if you're going to get 5 kills and an Atacon as well. You know the game state's bad when Leave is ulting you in the opposite direction to his base.
All of FPX's throats.
Yeah, I mean, the short answer is that they don't deal with it. And
NIP are just doing their due diligence and knocking out structures one by one. Dwayme's going to send it. Bullet time rips through the front line once again. Yeah. Good night, Sheer. And maybe they get one on a PP God as he tanks up a lot of turret damage. It's just not enough to get a kill back over to FPX for Mercy. This inhibitor will fall, and it looks like a teleport is coming in. As no, oh nope, that's the Otacon GAs. You know what?
The good news is that they're throwing right now just to get withdrawn because it will still be faster. However,
Jover, 10,000 gold advantage for NIP. I think it's a good time to just remind our lovely audience at home, you know, what is the significance of, you know, some of these players and their the intertwinement of their relationships. You know, we talked about a little bit before during the pre-show that Doinby did start with
FPX. You know, one that FPX can hold and the one that Doinby will do for them is another fight on this top side, looking to put the final nail in the coffin.
PP God leading the charge. Here comes the teleport. Doinby casting down between worlds on his former organization as the rest of NIP just stormed the base. Nothing can save FPX when NIP are at an all-time high, and Shadow forced to flash will escape certain death, but can't say the same about the impending Nexus that is now completely exposed to NIP. And this series is going off to a great start for all the NIP fans at home. GG, well played. They lead the series 1-0.
8-1.
Udyr for their top lane matchup into this Maokai. And oh boy, Alk, we're getting Doinby rise again.
Oh my god, and on a dime, this kind of feels like this shifts what the team is providing cover and providing vision for their jungler, as I think this is still really smart here for NIP and even allows them to still contest for, are they looking for something? Doinby is on the way. You see that he's moving. Let's see, the Hawkshot does notice this, so you're going to see a fight here.
Nice use of the ultimates, both from Shanji and Aki. Dinks level 6, so lights have been turned out. Jue just walks back into
How much damage can FPX get on the bottom side, though? You see Udyr starting to split. They're going for the dive.
Realm Warp, and Shanji takes up the turret aggro. It's actually Doinby that's taken up as the turret now ramps up, but Doinby dodges and dips out of it. Now it's on to Shanji, but he dodges it with the twisted advance, and they're going to drop the turret aggro as they... Good use of the smite. Shadow gonna use the trickster to walk
Shanji.
Oh, but Shanji's there to block his path. That forces Shadow's flash. Nature's Grasp on the hunt here.
Oh, he gets tagged?
And he gets the twisted advance right on the back end of it, and oh no!
Dominance with the composition they have.
Big thing though, Aki just dinged the first item power spike for himself, so he's very strong. There's no flash for Shadow, so if NIP want to send it, as long as Shadow oversteps his welcome here on these grubs, they can call for it. Teleport is already coming in for both teams. Shanji has the ultimate ready, looking for a pincer maneuver, waiting for them to overextend just enough. Lights have been turned out. Leave ready and waiting to pincer as well. Shanji's in. Aki dives onto bot, forces him to flash away and reposition. Aki might have overextended now his own welcome, and he's going to get completely zoned off by Sheer. But the rest of NIP have full control of the river. They're forcing FPX to fall one by one, as now Sheer is left to his own devices in a 1v2, trying to run away, but Shanji locks him down once again with a twisted advance, pushes him back with the brand.
What is going on, man?
Hang on, Udyr still surviving, barely surviving. That Doinby had just completely obliterated the back line off of the teleport in. He's just living the best time of his life once is where, as we said before, Alk, if you don't play against this champion regularly, especially in pro versus trying to fight through darkness.
The sneaky wards!
Here comes the Avengers signals. Let's see how many join the cause here. PP God is
Beautiful
trying to
from
lead
Shadow.
the charge and at least burn some of these ultimates, but Shanji now behind them all, looking for care. The
Doinby's
Ash
caught!
tries to break open the fight, but wait a minute, Doinby just gets chain CC'd. The Rise Mage is gone. FPX, they completely deny and nullify NIP's engage.
Small disadvantage, but this entire time, Aki's been hitting the mid-tier one. They're not able to get it in time. It's first hurt going over to FPX. Aki was nowhere near that. I've kind of been talking about them ever since they were introduced, but super potent with what Doinby has. I mean, even if you want to get the upgraded.
Take down the turret. A paranoia. Hang
Here's
on.
the
Does Aki
turn.
now join the fight? Curtain call. But look where Doinby has arrived to the Realm War, but Shadow is now just trying to completely annihilate Leave. He does so beautifully, flashes over the wall, completely separates himself from Doinby as he now chases for another. And
Let's go!
because he's got no damage dealers, he is now just going to get burned down by the backline. FPX completely putting NIP in disarray, and the rest of NIP, I think they just got their pants pulled down. FPX
versus you, so you have the Ashe. Oh, we're doing an immediately turn. What?
Paranoia
Guys.
right onto the target of FPX, and good night care. Just a little too isolated, but here comes the rest of the cavalry of FPX. Maybe
Oh,
they can
wait
turn
a
it
minute!
around.
No!
Beautiful hustle. Take the Realm Warp from Doinby says nope. They get out of the engage, and now they can re-engage on their own terms when they've got a sniper in the crow's nest on the far right side of the Baron Pit, raining hell down on the FPX. Fly, Phoenix, fly back into the ground as the ashes scatter the river.
It's a voracious Otacon that's already half-baked for them. NIP, with what was looking like a slightly botched fight from them, are able to turn it on a dime from their star mid laner's key ultimate. Right at the very last moment where it's possible for the Renata ult to hit, NIP are able to escape. As well, makes it difficult to turn. They didn't think that Sheer and Joy would be here, and I want to see
takeover projectile reaches Doinby and would have canceled the Realm Warp. Could have been a completely different story, but we're not living in that universe, Alk. We're living in the timeline where NIP just pulled off probably the most BS thing I've ever seen in a hot minute, but man, oh man, that is the Doinby Rise experience for you.
this was kind of the mid matchup that we wanted to see. How much impact were they going to have in a series? Care traditionally has been someone who's kind of shied away from some of that spotlight, especially when we're talking about last year's FPX iteration. And Doinby always feels like a large voice, especially with how boisterous he is. We're getting an actual fight here as Rise comes on through with the teleport.
Doinby returns, Shockwave does paperweight damage, and he's gonna Realm Warp to try and see if he can cut off Shadow as well, but Shadow does manage to clear enough distance, will escape the grasp of NIP.
Puts them at soul point, and this feels like it is the game turning here. Aki goes forward. That's just the AD carry experience, man. You stepped up to farm Raptors. That's a distance you can cross.
And they're already just burning the dragon as fast as possible. Shadow is trying to walk through the fog of wars to see if he can maybe get into the pit, but PP God denies him on PP God and Realm Warp from Doinby to find an angle here, but the Baron is not burning down fast enough. Aki
here we go, no one's there.
And they're looking for the pincer. Shanji leads the charge. Sheer trying to dissuade them from walking any further.
Shadow!
Aki, oh, wait a minute, Shadow sends it with the sniper,
Baron!
trying to see if he can break the line, but Shadow falls, and if the Monkey King is gone, I don't think there's any hope for the remaining Phoenix members. FPX starting to fall one by one as Sheer is isolated by NIP once again. Paranoia is accessible once again for Aki as he takes off the lights from every single member left on the Rift. FPX
A large bait for this team, being a distraction there. Just sets up the rest of the team. I will say, as much as we've been talking about starting to clear vision, anyone that steps up even close to this turret, you can have a Nocturne and a Jin ult that you can't even see coming. So lots of damage on a side lane now. They can play on two waves. Such big map control, kind of playing the big picture here from NIP, as FPX are going to have to watch as the rest of this game crumbles around them.
Yep, they're going to open up the siege by using the curtain call. Decent chunk on the Jway. Care is also losing a lot of HP, down below 50%. Shanji just opening up even further with the Maokai ultimate. This just gives freedom for NIP to walk in through the bot side of the map. Inhibitor turret, gone. Inhibitors both in mid lane and bot lane, gone.
Ooh, hey, can we get it? Hey, we got another inhibitor, okay.
stranger events occur when he
has
is...
1 million items, man. Look at how much HP he has. This guy is not dying ever, and he does 1 million damage. Like, you're never actually going to be able to take down this Rise from this position. They're using even Shanji's ult, like we were saying earlier, just to make sure they can grab this. Full court press here. Another minion wave arriving in mid. You've got 8 seconds, so no more Baron.
Arrow goes wide. Wait a minute. Leave stepped a little too far forward. He's taken out of the picture here. Maybe
there's
NIP.
Aki.
This is a fight that has gone a little too sour. Shadow finds PP God, and suddenly, even though Aki trades on the bat, Care and Shadow are still trying to fight their way through this fight. Sheer doing the damnedest he can on the Udyr. Maybe he'll get one back onto Doinb, but can he deal with the rest of NIP? That is going to be the question. Aki cannot step up forward, and FPX's solo laners might have just bought them enough time to live to see another day, but they cannot protect the inhibitor, and these Nexus towers are under fire. Shanji
does no damage!
Dude, Sheer and Care can't actually take out this Maokai, man. He's just healing from closing out on the side of NIP. And now with the Elder Dragon spawn, FPX are forced
is Shadow
to
dead?
They have to contest it. No, this is not where Shadow wants to be. Care gets a decent shockwave to follow up, but no one falls from the side of NIP. No jungler, no AD carry, just down to your solo laners and your support, and that's not a recipe for success at all. It's FPX. Good night to both Jway and Cares. They get sniped off, and now it's just the last dude here on the side, but he's not going to do anything, at least not enough to stop NIP from pouring into this base, and it's all open season for NIP. GG, well played once again. Another dominant victory where it looked closer for FPX, but somehow, someway, NIP arrives all the same. 2-0, they lead the series.
They play around the map consistently. I love how they're also wolves now as well. A really good start here for FPX so far, but Sheer needs to be very careful. If he can survive this, it's huge.
He channels and buffers the E despite the root, but it's still not a river. And yes, they burned flash for flash onto Aki, but he still has the rest of his teammates being able to collapse in. So Grubs, first rotation secured for NIP, and there's no inclination. And Jway and Care are going to try again. Shaji no longer having access to Dominus. Jway has to lead the charge here. The flash, the double slice and dice, trying to avoid it all. And Jway lives with a sliver of HP.
How much damage is going on in the top side, though? Yes, it's a Tristana, and Aki walks into Shadow.
Oh, he misses the root, but it's still a lot of damage just from the power of the plants and the ultimate. Shadow forced the flash. He's going to use the blast cone to get himself away from Aki's hands. The rest of NIP, they're on the top side.
Look at this turret. It's just eviscerated. Maybe they grab it here. We've got Grub spawning in 45 seconds. If they take this turret, they're not going to have time to really reset, kind of get in position for some of these fights. You're talking about Doinb on a side lane, this Renekton on a side lane. It's going to be very difficult to deal with, and something that if you lose a team fight suddenly...
Down this dragon, PP God trying to use the power of the clone to get them vision, but not enough to warrant their way.
Every 3 minutes it feels like there's something you got to do. There is something that we're going to be fighting over, or something we're going to be losing resources on. As engage on a Shanji.
What about fight in the bot lane? And FPX completely blow up this crocodile before the rest of NIP can really send in the reinforcements, but they're going to look for another re-engage. There's the chains that connects on the Shadow.
They make it happen
Beautifully. Doinb is going to go down for his efforts, and that gives Care another reset to jump away to safety, but taking a lot of damage as well. Oh, PP God almost biting the dust as well. Care just does not have enough damage to finish off the Nico, but it was close.
And they've got 6 Grubs. They should be able to take this turret. It's been a fight over the mid lane with our 2 AD carries. Such a close bout here for FPX. Oh, here's Karthus. Does he get it? He has the Blackfire Torch.
Wait a minute, Deathfire Torch. The bird is going to be enough.
No!
He's blinking. No, it's not enough. He got as low as 11 HP.
Falling in minute 40. The Dragon in 2. Those are going to be kind of big terrain pieces that NIP can kind of play around and build for. Here. I don't know how much they're going to be able to play. Maybe with Aki. They have a timer here.
They know that Sheer doesn't have flash from the play they made on the top side before, and that sets up for the easy lockdown. Good night, Sheer. 3-man think about. I know that Sivir clears waves super fast. I didn't necessarily... Oh, whoa! The trench line connects right onto Doinb!
Wait a minute, Care!
Charge. Oh, Doinb Doinby still survives long enough that
Great pick coming out from Jue. It opens up FPX to grab the Herald. This has been a doomed game, and I feel like everyone, they look, coming into that next Otacon, we're looking to really kind of play off of mid lane.
An extremely clutch moment from the FPX single franchise player that has stayed with this orb for the past 3 years. And now he leads the charge. He finds leave, and even if he doesn't do enough damage, he had the Karthus ultimate ready to finish off. But Care picks up his 4th kill of the game. They're going to carry the momentum through. He's got the resets. He's bouncing forward, looking for more.
He's him! He's him!
He's going to take out Aki, and he gets out alive. Oh, with the burn from Leandries. Takes his first death of the game, but I think Care is putting in his share of work for game 3.
Care might have been Icarus there. It's PP God with an engage.
PP Blossom onto the front line, but they can't get through to bot. Shanji flashes forward, trying to take him out. The Crocodile sinks his fangs in and takes out the Varus, but gets traded back. FPX, I don't know if it's patience or just totally overestimating what they can do in some of these
oh my god, wait, he's in
scenarios.
that flash, he's dead!
Oh, Care, no!
Care, no!
Oh, maybe off of the back of Care's marksman champion. These picks cannot be carelessly given away as another one.
So, it seems like NIP are instead going to say, look, we've pulled them across the map, we got what we wanted, that's another turret for NIP. To like a soul or a soul point, and with Otacon right next to it, you imagine, if we take a fight now, for FPX,
same case. 3,000 gold down. NIP have teleported their members into the river, trying to jockey for position as Jue tries to send it for the engage, but Doinby with the call of the Forge God, PP God with the engage. It's
that's
one by multiple members. Good turnaround by FPX as they take out the support. They're
doing it.
Here we go. Shadow unleashes the call of the Requiem as gets a lot of burst damage down into NIP, but the Strangler is still alive. Mid lane.
NIP slowly eking out gold leads every so often, while most of it here for FPX.
Yeah, and it's so tough to still jump into a team that still has Zyron and all abilities available.
Oh no!
Jue might have overstepped here. Death Charge being used on the very same champion. Maybe a turnaround.
Where's Care? He's dead though!
Pops the stasis, but Jue's gone. Care is forced to retreat over the side wall. Doinby now gonna pursue. Shanji also in the back line. The Renekton. This Crocodile's so scary, but they get pushed away thanks to the Buster Shot. And it gets
caught after caught with Jue as well. The two of them not really being able to sync up and vision, making sure that he's able to have time here. Did pick up the Navori Flicker Blade, so those explosive charges are going to be dealing a lot of damage and be coming out very, very frequently.
Yeah, I think FPX just know that there's no way that they can really contest a team fight right now when they're down this much gold, just trying to pick up any remnants of standing gold.
Oh god,
through
Baron
these
6 grubs.
Baron 6 Void Grubs. That's just so much structure damage that you can inflict in a rapid amount of time, and FPX can't just let that happen go freely. I mean, NAP, if they are given any time on these base structures, it's just gone in a heartbeat.
They only lost 1 turret, so not all that bad for right now. In 30 seconds with this Otacon, gonna be maybe looking here for FPX. Nice job from Doinby. Picks up the bottom lane wave, and once that's pushing, teleports in top lane so that they can continue to go. It's the Ornn ultimate from Doinby.
Doinby.
Oh, he fights Shadow!
Shadow once again! And the Karthus is not gonna even pop the Requiem because I don't even think that there is a chance to find a kill trade back onto NIP. They get what they wanted, pushing in through the mid wave, unlocking that inhibitor, and they're gonna do the same thing on the top side.
Oh my god, I mean, Care, his flash is not going to be up. Maybe they're going to make a defense, but still Baron here. Another mid-wave is in group, and definitely looking towards split 2 with so many young names, especially. Oh my god, Shadow's almost dead.
Chunked out again. Doinby has just been completely ruthless with all these hijacked ultimates, singling out the Karthus every single time they look for the siege, and now all 3 inhibitors have
strengths of a player like Doinby coming on through for the roster, so what we expected, I think, but still exciting.
Sheer, Shadow, and Sorrow in the jungle role, Bot and Jue are all
PP
part of this new roster, and PP God leads the charge with the Pop Blossom, just gets another flash out of Bot, no sums for the Varus. The rest of NIP pushing forward onto the Nexus Tower. Shanji flashing forward, looking for the flashless. Varus should be enough damage. Not quite to take him out, but NIP should have the firepower to burn through the Nexus Towers and burn through the Nexus all exposed. And all FPX can do is just watch as the base crumbles. Doinby styling on them, doing tricks on it. GG, well played. NIP close out the Series 3. Other teams' radar once they start going up against them in the playoffs.
Such a dangerous team to play, especially you were talking about like how deep some of these champion pools go. Obviously, Doinby is a very famous person for kind of picking up weird stuff. We saw Kled in the 1v1. We saw his rise earlier today, but think of other players on this team. I'm specifically looking at top lane. Shanji has been someone who, while having some of his pocket picks, has always trended towards some of the off-meta, the off-branch stuff. I think of his Shyvana in the top lane that he was a very early adopter of. Something that could be kind of flexed around from multiple roles as well. So I'm interested to see what we get from more best of fives, and specifically against teams that I think are really going to push NIP, because this was, I think, Group D, when you look at it, the group of life. Felt like mostly anybody could get out, especially in that second spot.
Yeah. And that second spot is still up for grabs, but the race doesn't really look like it'll have FPX in the running for it. It's really up to either RNG or IG and their series, which we'll see later this week. Or, hang on, I might be misspeaking.
What are you looking for?
Who is IG's last series against? Is it against...
IG are going to be playing FPX. Yeah,
okay.
They had the RNG series where they won 3-1.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yep.
So,
and they play on the second to last day. They play on the 15th. So a week from now is going to be at... Oh, here's our updated schedule.
Boom.
Boom. Unfortunate.
NIP.
Pour one out for FPX.
Yeah, like, unless some really weird shenanigans happen where IG, like, I think what would have to happen is FPX would have to beat IG, and Ninjas in Pyjamas has to beat RNG. Because if they drop the game, then it doesn't even matter, and because then RNG clinches that second seed, and if FPX drop it to IG, then, you know, IG is securely...
Yeah, so it goes down to game differential and then head-to-head. So
yeah.
I don't think FPX would be winning the game differential, unfortunately. They did not pick up too many series wins. So obviously we have that performance. It was a 3-1 against RNG. I think FPX, unfortunately, going to be looking again, like we said, towards a split 2 performance. They have a lot of fresh faces. We were talking about the rebuild around Care yet again. So some more games to play. I'm glad that we were able to get to see more best of fives of this team, even though they may have not been able to push in very many games. But some of those early games, the first 10-15 minutes definitely felt, you know, playable for this team. Just think the team fights weren't all there.
Yeah, and it just seems like there are moments where they kind of not lose respect, but they just forget where everyone is on the map, and just understanding like, hey, it is really important that I'm not overextended in this side lane in this scenario. Or there's moments where, you know, like you called out in the team fights, you know, they have the clear momentum and they just push it a little too far, and not being content with the wins that they are getting.
NIP is also just, I think, a very greedy team sometimes. You talk about playing the side lane. That's a team where if you are not if you're not careful, suddenly you blink and 2 turrets are gone, right? We talked about the top lane. Even looking at game 2, I think with that with the Rise and Nocturne combo, they were playing so much around the map. Vision Dino was such a big part of that game, and while FPX, they wanted to scale, I think it's a really risky thing to take, especially against a team, like we were saying, that loves to play the map.
It is so terrifying when NIP is as, I don't want to say careless, but they are as fast as they are, because it, you know, it's a double-edged sword where, as you pointed out, sometimes they're not really respectful of like, hey, maybe we shouldn't like dive this far, but it doesn't stop them from doing it again. And then they just keep doing it over and over and over and over and over, and eventually that relentless pressure will cause even the strongest to buckle under the weight of it all.
Who do you feel is MVP? Because honestly, I kind of wish this was like Wild Rift, you know, the SVP. I feel bad for Care, man. There's so many good moments that, like, this passage of play was when the Care bucks were starting to get cashed in. People were buying high, well, buying low, and didn't end up kind of cashing out in this game. But I don't know. For NIP, it feels like, you think about Doinby, he started this game off 0-3, where it was caught out a couple times in the early game. Shanji on the bottom lane dive.
Yeah, like, a lot of the engages were made because of Doinby being able to steal such powerful tools like Call of the Forge God and Death Charge, but I think it might go to Aki, because remember at the beginning of this game, the whole game plan was FPX saying, screw you, Aki, you're not going to get far. you're not gonna farm any of your jungle. We're gonna get our Karthus super accelerated. How did Aki respond? He's like, you know what? I'm not gonna even farm my bottom camps yet. I'm going to put Sheer in the dirt, and I'm gonna try and accelerate my bottom lane out of success. And somehow, Aki bounces back, gets a full Medjay stacked up by the end of the game, and is such a hard-hitting mage, whereas Shadow is just getting picked on relentlessly by the rest of his team.
Aki took a very dangerous gambit, right? We're talking about the fact that while he's sitting there trying to prep the dive onto Sheer, or onto Shanji, like, there was not very many tools for him to actually play the game. I think it was a very difficult kind of spot to be in for the team. So I'm a bit worried.
Drumroll. Oh, I don't have, wait. Ah! They're not drumsticks, they're chopsticks, but... Eventually we will get there, chat. I think they're still elaborating. I don't know, Aki Doinby seems pretty strong in my book. Definitely not PP God, you know, not to hate on the Nico, but a lot of the engages got stuff, you know, and that's where, you know, the Carabucks were first starting to show with the Buster Shot punting a lot of these threats out. I'm gonna stop the drum roll. I don't know when the MVP vote is coming, bro. Oh, we lost Alk? Oh, okay. Solo cast again until Alk comes back. You know, we might close out of the broadcast. Look at that! Aki on the Zyra. Yeah. If you got a Medjay pretty much stacked up by the end of the game, it's pretty hard not to be looked at as the favorite. It's just such a strong way. Honestly, I should take Aki